All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Let's skip this cutscene here. I actually wasn't trying to do like a big cinematic opener there or whatever. It's just their title screen ends up rolling the trailers. What I really just wanted to start was on this screen. Which, by the way, the theme music for 14 is actually my favorite theme music of any. Listen to this. Man, there's something about the music on this one. It really, really speaks to me. A lot more than any other main series game, really. So yeah, today I want to... basically, I've had an idea to be streaming and talking a little bit more about FF14. For people that don't know, I've already been playing this game 3 months, I think. But I'm not very far into it, and I play very slowly. Even people who are really, really diligent watchers of my content and my channel might not appreciate just how slowly I take things, especially when it comes to like really big, really like complicated products. You know, I do take my time. So even though I've been playing for like 3 months, it's still a free-to-play account. Oh, my God, that notification was really loud. Was that really loud for you guys as well? Did you even hear that? Honestly, I'm really, really slow with this. So it's still a free account. They don't like force you to pay a sub or do anything until the end of the first expansion, which is actually like a lot of content. So, you know, part because it's me, part because, you know, I just really want to understand it to know if I like it and all that kind of stuff. I've really been taking my sweet time. So, I do want to start streaming it. As I said, maybe you caught the announcement the other day. Every few days, I want to come over and just show you guys how it's going. And what I think I'll do as well... Oh no, these sub notifications. What is this? Why are they so loud? I might have to mute them. Yeah, let's just jump in. On today's stream, I just want to like show you guys my character and a little bit of what I'm doing and what I know. And I'm looking for advice and feedback from you guys more than anything else. My God. We'll have to see. I did have that turned down originally. Yeah, so you know, I'm a noob here to a large degree. There's a lot of stuff for me to learn. And, you know, the more advice you guys can give me, the better. What I'd like to do is a bit of a cinematic story playthrough of the story I've already played. And then I'll just do, like, blind streams as I go ahead. I don't know. I really don't. I don't even know whether I want to use my regular character right now or whether I want to... do new on New Game Plus or do a totally new character. I'm really not sure. I can't wait to see how your conservative sensibilities deal with the absolutely unchained weeb culture. I don't know. People talk about that a lot with this game. I don't really care. I mean, that's the honest truth. I don't care that much about how things look. I mean, I think this game is pretty ugly, by the way. An awful lot of what I've experienced in it so far. Like, I know in some places it will look better. Wait, what's going on? This world is currently full. Please wait on a free... I've never had this message, ever. I've had queues all the time. I always get in a queue. I always have queues. It always says... I actually Googled it. Apparently they're like fake queues. It's like 30 people, 20 people, and they're not real. Well, I mean, this is a good start immediately. There's a lot of things I don't like about this game. There's a lot of things that I think this game does very, very shoddily. I'm still a big believer in the theory that FF14 is only so successful because it geniusly... It gives people such a low bar, and MMO users are suckers, right? So they'll lap it up, they'll suck it up. They give you such a bad experience, such a low bar that when they actually start doing well, everyone's like shitting themselves about how incredible and how amazing the whole thing is. That's my firm belief about Final Fantasy right now. And I don't know, maybe it will become really good, but I'm still sort of on the edge of it being good, I think. Though there are things I like, and it's. Can I just say as well, it's refreshing to me. Some of you guys might not be familiar with this, especially in some of the recent End of Dragons Daily discussion we've had. I'm very much in tune with Guild Wars and ArenaNet and their philosophies because I've spent so long with that franchise. But the funny thing, that franchise is like a counterculture. It's like a breath of fresh air to how other MMOs work. And the thing is, I haven't actually played that much of the traditional MMO side. I've dipped in and out of it over the years, but not like super hardcore any of that stuff. So the weird thing is, my breath of fresh air a lot of the time is traditional MMOs, so I'm like predisposed to actually quite enjoy it in a way, if that makes sense. Like, I'm kind of aberrant in that way. I got into Guild Wars 1 and this whole that whole franchise not because I was tired of other MMOs and I'd spent all this time grinding and now I had a mortgage to pay and all this stuff. It wasn't any of that. It was that it was free and I was from, a working class family that would never pay a sub fee for a game. So that's why I played Guild Wars. And so, I kind of ended up getting entrenched in all that. And my counterculture is now playing games like this. Anyway, I don't know what I'm going to do here. What happens when I click OK? Is it just going to kick me out of the whole game? It did! It kicked me out of the whole game! What? Well, if this isn't a sign from the gods that I should not be playing this game. What is that? Alright, let's boot this up. Who doesn't like a bit of Eve? I've never tried Eve. Eve, though, I'm not a very mathsy guy. I'm not, classically, I haven't been a very mathsy guy, and I haven't been a very spreadsheety guy, and I feel like just those two elements mean that I probably wouldn't like Eve much. I should try it, though. Right. Yeah, we'll just swap this to the Stellaris stream, right, guys? We'll just do Stellaris instead. By the way, since this is just, like, nonsense, this isn't even real content for you all, I do have a new video up. Oh, what's this? All Worlds Maintenance, July 20th. In order to implement patch 5.58, we will be performing maintenance on all worlds at the time below which Final Fantasy XIV will be unavailable. We apologize for any inconvenience this may cause, and we thank you for your understanding. So, it's from... British summertime. They're down for the next hour, I guess. I guess they've been down all day. Oh, that's in 2 days, is it? Oh yeah, that's on the 20th. It's only the 18th. Yeah. That's ages away. That's Tuesday. Yeah, look at this. Look at chat's in the know. Look at that. Okay, I'll try and log in again. We could just sit and listen to the beautiful login music. Unable to obtain character data. Question mark, question mark, question mark. So, by the way, I still don't get a lot of this stuff. Like, if I click my character, I've not seen, like... What is Guardian? What is my... Name day is my birthday, I guess. Clan? Oh, that's like your guild. Which I can't get as a free-to-play thing. Should I just try and log in and see what happens? It's full again. Why is it suddenly full? I was in a second ago. You can right-click your character name and use the log into any server thing. Alright, I'll try that again. It's going to boot me from the whole game now because I have no choice. This is some Guild Wars 1 shit here. I have no choice, so let's go back to the chatting screen. I haven't really set up OBS with a ton of Final Fantasy themed overlays and stuff, by the way, so yeah, it's going to be a weird hodgepodge. Let's be real, it's not like I have a Final Fantasy audience anyway. There's probably one guy in chat right now like, WP, why don't you finish 12? 14 is 2 games away. Just to be clear, I've never had any plans to show you guys 13. I don't really like 13 very much. Okay, let's try this again. Yeah, Guardian's my god, I get that, I remember that, but what I'm saying is I don't know any of the god lore, and I don't know whether that ever matters, especially to the degree why that would appear on the character select screen, right? That's what I'm trying to get at. The game's really booming at the moment, so generally you can't create characters. Yeah, I mean, I've been on Cactar for 3 months, and I saw, like, that big streamer, Asmongold, picked Cactar, and everyone was saying, oh no, that's so bad. But since then, I've never had any queue issues. I've logged in, like, 4 or 5 times since then, and it's always just gone through. It says, like, 20 people, bit of a delay, and then I'm in. So, I don't know. But if there's a way for me to log in on anything, cool. Steam is currently booting the game again. So, yeah, I play on Steam, and I have a free-to-play account. So, that's kind of my 2 things. And, by the way, if on this, like, project we make a new character, I could pick a totally new server anyway. Maybe an EU one or something, I don't know. The only thing I would say is I don't know whether I really do want to do a new character because it is boring, guys. It is really slow. It is really bad. I'm kind of thinking... And here's the other thing. I kind of want to, like... show you guys a bunch of the leveling mechanics and stuff, but the thing with this game is most of it's like so bad and like deprecated and like abandoned. It's like I don't even understand it because there's no resources in this community to really talk about it. Like if you actually try and look at like materia and all like the weird like different colored gear that comes from different dungeons and shit, like most of it just doesn't matter. It's like, oh yeah, this tier of gear exists, but ignore it. Just get tomestones and just buy your gear from that. That's basically all people say the whole time. All right, we'll boot back up again in a second. And again, please, at any point on this stream, if I look like I'm talking with any authority, ignore me, because I have no authority. I have no game knowledge here. Not really. It's all very new to me in a lot of ways. If for anyone curious, my Steam hours on Final Fantasy XIV so far are 150 hours. I've spent 150 hours in this game, which about matches what I'd spend on another main series Final Fantasy right now. Except this one I played totally for free. So as far as judging it for the whole franchise, you know, it's not too bad. Right, let's try this again, shall we? Oh, I have character data now, though. Connection poor. I've never used this login thing you guys are talking about. Right click. Visit another world server? Is this what we're saying? To visit another world? Man, I gotta set up windowed full screen as well. Okay, visit another world. People are saying to do that. To avoid congested servers, you may temporarily transfer your character to a less crowded world. The destination world is chosen automatically. Okay, so this is like their guesting system. Okay. New world login now available. How long will that... It still says Cactar, so what? I just click it now? Please wait before attempting another... Oh, world visit Adamantois. Logging in. Your character's on a world server... Yeah, visit... Yeah. Hey, we're in. Oh, yeah, we're in. This is like a fake queue. This isn't real. This just gives the illusion of population. Not that they need it anymore, but yeah. Yeah, so Kerry, I've been playing a ton of the game with. She's in chat right now. She went a lot faster than me, and she had basically all the same opinions about the MMO as me. And she was cynical about like the quality of the future stuff as well. But now she's played it all, and she basically says, yeah, it's really good. Apparently their most recent expansion is very, very, very good. So I'm really interested in how they deliver that story and all of that stuff. I'm very, very curious about that. Because she was so cynical about it, and you know, I very deeply respect her opinion on that. So I am curious. You know, and I've seen stuff about like the whole Yoshi P, is it getting a standing ovation and all that. So we'll see where the game goes. Oh my god, it's raining in Ulda. All right. So yeah, I don't know what I'm doing really. I don't have any great plans here right now. What can I say? I guess. So Monk was my main, is my main or whatever. As a free account, I only get the first expansion, so I go up to level 60, and I've been level 60 for ages. But I'm not actually through the story of the first expansion yet. The first expansion is called Heavensward. So all my gear is eye level 130 gear. So this is basically best base game gear, essentially, for my Monk. But what I did do is I entered the new expansion, and I got a second class. So I also got Dark Knight. Unfortunately, Dark Knight isn't a DPS thing in this game. It's a tank, which I think is a really lame misalignment. When I think Dark Knight or Death Knight, and I look at like Arcane and Health Sacrifice and all that shit from the other games, if you've watched my Final Fantasy X-2 playthrough, you'll know that I love the X-2 Death Knight. You know, I think a DPS, obviously a DPS, but it's a tank. It's kind of like the opposite here. So hey, but anyway, tanking is really fun. I like it a lot. What I tend to find is on Monk, I spend ages just looking at my skills and like rearing and flanking and just doing that over and over and over and over and over again. And I don't really get to like appreciate the fights or the animations or the positioning as much. It's obviously still important. But on Dark Knight, the game is so easy and so basic. It's like really good for learning. And also the other thing is like all the dungeons in this game. Where do I display those for you guys? I guess in the duty finder I could display them. Right, so yeah, all the dungeons in this game, if you play these on a DPS, you literally just run down corridors, like, pressing, like, especially as a monk, You just spam the same AoEs over and over and over and over. It's so unbelievably boring. But as a tank, you actually, you get a sense of like you're controlling the party and where they move and where they go, and you learn it better. Like I definitely think tank is a really, really fun thing to start off with. It made the game a million times more engaging to me. Less intensive in terms of skill execution, easier, but the kind of things that I get to focus on lets it sink in more. So, I really, really like having a tank. I kind of want to pick up another tank, to be honest. Another thing as well, how do I bring up all my classes? Where's just my general progress or whatever? My, like, search. There's a way of, like, getting a menu where you can see all your classes listed out. These are all I have anyway. I haven't really done any of the crafting classes. But basically, there are some other archetypes that I haven't played. This is a melee DPS. The monk is a melee DPS. But what I might like to play instead is a ranged DPS. There's like two varieties of that. There's physical and there's magical. The magical ones deal with mana. The physical ones... I think the physical ones are supposed to... I might be wrong about this, but apparently they're like... They're super simple, but they do less damage in theory because they have less to focus on, I think, is the idea. Anyway, so I kind of want to get one of each, I've got tank, I've got... Oh, and then the healer as well. Sorry, there is healer. And basically those 5 archetypes is everything that this game does. And they are incredibly rigid. The class hooks into one of those archetypes, and you don't get to fuck around at all. Like, they tell you what you do. There is no creativity. There is no expression of freedom. There is no customization, really, that they dictate with an iron fist. What that allows them to do is have a really clean and sophisticated, comfortable LFG system that makes all the cooperative gameplay in this game really smooth. And I think that's why the population is so high and why it continues to go to height to height to height, because it's so easy to get in there. And they revolve, like a lot of their main scenario content is around... Co-op stuff, dungeons are in the main story, big bosses in the form of duties are in the main story. It's like all mainline, and they can be confident about it because they do have this really robust LFG. And it all kind of ties to the fact that the classes are boring as sin. If you like any kind of buildcraft, if you like RPGs from like a mechanical level, this is a terrible game, like really bad. But, I actually, in truth, I think the majority... Most MMO players aren't looking for that. Most people just go to meta builds and just have other people dictate stuff to them anyway. So why not have a game build itself around that fact? Around the fact that people don't like to do research. They just want to hear what's good, and then they'll do... and it's just like an elite few... In the games that do engage in buildcraft, it's a few nerds that get super into it. And everyone else just follows along in a big conga lemming line, right? So I actually think that what Final Fantasy's... And I don't know whether they did this knowingly or not, or they just stumbled into this, but I actually think it's quite genius what this game did. It found a way to just say, look, this is how players play these games, so fuck it. Let's just rule with an iron fist. That's my take as it currently stands about buildcraft and, from a mechanical standpoint, why this game does so well. And what it means as well is the actual content itself, I think, can be calibrated a lot tighter. They have a much clearer sense of what healers are capable of, what kind of DPS numbers are available, what kind of, like, quality of life people have. So they can be more, aggressive with telegraphs and with, like, fight encounter-specific stuff. And that gives them the freedom to do a lot of fun stuff mechanically. And these are all the things that this MMO definitely does way better than Guild Wars. That's what I understand right at the start of Heaven's Ward, where I've been led to believe that most of the content I've played is, like, pales in comparison to the later stuff. So let's talk about what I've played. I've done every dungeon. You see this little tick here? This means I've done it. I've done every dungeon. All their Living World Season 1 dungeons, essentially. It's been fascinating as I've gone along. I want to do a review, guys. It's been fascinating comparing era to era. Because this stuff's awful. Final Fantasy XIV was not better than Guild Wars 2 for many years. As bad as Guild Wars 2's updates were with Living World, it was not better. But then they really found their footing around... Where are my duties? Trials? Yeah, where is it? Around... Yeah, the battle on the Brig Bridge, the Midgardsormr dungeon, the Shiva fight, wherever that's listed... Is that a trial? You can immediately see they started finding their feet. They did, and Guild Wars didn't. And I think that's where the actual tide started to turn a bit between these two big products. But yeah, so as far as core's done, I've done everything. I've done all the dungeons. I've done all the trials, including the extremes. Now, here's the thing. In this game, when it comes to old content, they allow you to choose if you want to be on level scaling or not. So if you out-level the content and get better gear, you can do what they call unsyncing, which means you just instantly clear the content, basically, because your stats are so high. So I have done this stuff, but I've done it all unsynced, which kind of sucks. I kind of want to do all these extremes synced. I feel like that would be really fun. But the people I play with were not up for that. And that's fair. I understand that. And I ended up just doing it because I wanted the poetics and stuff. And I just kind of wanted to get a little bit of a tour, you know. This is like infantile mode, essentially, is what I did. But yeah, I did that. Then there's raids. So there's alliance raids. My understanding of these is that this is just they bomb a ton of players in, and they're just for some spectacle and fun and flashy, pretty colors and lights. I do these like most days. I do dailies. Then there's the core raids. This is the Twisting Coil of Bahamut, which again I've done, but all unsynced. And then this came in like 3 wings. You had the Binding Coil, the Second Coil, and the Final Coil. And a lot of this story was really good. This was quite an interesting story. It tied into like the setting and the plot and stuff. Then they have what they call Savage Raids. I think I can't remember all the details, but I think it's that every expansion they add a new Savage Raid, but they only pick one. So they were forced to pick just one from core, and they did the middle one for some reason. They didn't do the last. The final boss is really cool here, but they went with this final boss is cool as well. So, and anyway, I've done that unsynced as well, and I've seen what that looks like. In fact, that was one of the most recent things I did, and I've now got a ton of weird items, and I have no idea what they do. Anyone want to teach me what these do? The Allegan Aether Stones? I've got to clean them out. So, inventory management in this game is alright. It's a bit weird. There's just no fun. Look, if you like items and if you like builds, there's no fun to be had in this game. This game just is so boring. Here's what I did. I logged in, I kept playing, and I just kept clicking this button, recommended gear, and just kept clicking equip until finally I was finished at max level, and then I just did their daily system, which gave me max gear after that. And as far as I understand, the same thing's going to happen in this next expansion. I'm going to run through spamming equip recommended gear, and then once I'm at the end, I'll do my dailies for level 60 stuff, whatever the eye level is there. I think it's like in the 200s or something. So eye level, it's like, you know, item strength. So you can see it there below where it says hands. There's that big bar. You know, that's like gear quality, basically. And as far as I understand it, it's when I get to the actual most recent expansion or this new one that's coming out, if I play it, as the patches go out, they'll slowly bump this up. They'll slowly trickle it in, and you have fun every patch building up. You know, the classic carrot on the stick stuff. Once the whole expansion phase is over, they add like the top stuff just to dailies to make it easy to catch up, so to speak. FF14 is really weird though, in that it's kind of not easy to catch up because you have to go through so much drudgery. But then they sell you on their microtransaction store skips, so you can skip the whole story or whatever, which is just such a bizarre thing for me to see. I think that's a big problem with this game. Their early experiences are terrible, and people are being forced to go through it or pay for the privilege of bypassing it. It's weird. And I think it will probably go away soon enough. World of Warcraft and Blizzard did a really good system, it sounds like, that addresses that over on their side. Anyway, different story. So yeah, anyway, Monk's fun. It's not what I thought it was going to be. I picked Monk because I like Final Fantasy 1 Monk. That's where I fell in love with Monk, getting all these big, beefy combos, you know, like a 5-hit, 6-hit change and stuff. And there's a bit of that on this. This is the only DPS I've played, though, so I don't know how to compare it to anything else. It's cool, though. And I've just unlocked my chakra mechanic, which for the first 140 hours, I didn't touch. Someone in chat says there's at least 20 hours of story in Shadowbringers, and you need to complete it to play with friends for most things. Yeah, I mean, it's a drudgery. It is a lot to go through. But again, like, I don't know. I think MMO players are suckers. I really do. I think they'll put up with it. They will. They just care about getting ahead. They just want things to do. I mean, the bar is so low. Every time I play another MMO, I'm like, this is terrible. This is, like, really bad. Like, whether it be in terms of, like, QOL features or, like, polish and UI and all that kind of stuff, like, they're just a mess. My UI is pretty messy, I give you that, by the way. Just so that you guys know, I'm actually super into macros. So, for example, with Dark Knight, let me go out and fight something somewhere. It's got to be strong stuff. I don't know, let's go up there. Do you need to macro? No, they're just like handy. Basically, you can write your own little scripts into the skills themselves and hotkey them for you. So, for example, this skill here, this is called Unmend, right? And what that does is that lets me do a little bit of range damage, but aggro stuff, basically. As a Dark Knight, you can run around spamming Unmend. You see I have on Q, so it's very, very easy for me to do. So I actually, instead of binding Unmend itself, I made a macro for Unend. Oh, shit, I just removed it. Whoops. I made a macro. These are all my macros here. Where the hell is it? There. And if you have a look at my Unmend macro, what I actually have here is /FT, which means face target. So what I can do is I can pick an enemy out. Oh, God. Whoops. Oh, God. What I can do is pick an enemy out, like on the UI. I don't even know where they are, but I just hit Q, and my character will automatically face them and throw the Unmend at them, you know, which makes the game feel a little bit smoother. So often I use, like, little stuff like that, you know, like, just instantly face something or instantly target something in a certain scenario. Probably the most sophisticated macro that I have set up emulates the Guild Wars 2 weapon chaining thing. So there's a thing in this game where if you tell a macro to execute a ton of skills in a long line, it executes them really slowly and you lose like a lot of DPS, a lot of functionality. So that's not a good idea. But what I've done is what you can do. I thought these guys were high level up here. Am I crazy? What you can do is macro full skill bars to swap. So here's my auto attack, right? It goes hard slash and then something else and then something else. And instead of having 3 buttons and 3 areas of the UI, all just for a fucking auto attack chain, I just do what ArenaNet did. So I press 1 and then it swaps to the next one, right? So I still handle all of the timing. I'm not losing out on anything here. But it's all consolidated, right? And that feels like a Guild Wars 2 auto attack chain. So that's the kind of stuff you can do with macros, and I actually have a lot of fun with it. So on Dark Knight, like, I just chain my autos, I unmend, I stun people with these 2, and these are all defensives over here. This is my AoE. There's a lot to talk about. Skill animations are ridiculous in this game. You have to dig into the settings like mad to make the game look even remotely immersive or good. And you know, having a skill button in the middle of the screen looks a bit gross. You'll have to ignore that. But the rest of it, I actually think I've got a lot of my UI set up reasonably nicely. But yeah, all the numbers that go spamming all over the place. I actually wish there was a lot more customization because it looks ridiculous. So here, like, we can knock him over, and then on a monk, I would do this to flank and then hit people. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. What else am I into with this game? Oh, I'm very completionist. What do I mean by that? Well, do any Final Fantasy veterans notice anything interesting about my map here, maybe? What you might notice is there's no quests available. That's because I've done all the side quests. Which basically every guide and everything you'll ever read, any discussion, people will say skip the quests. But I wanted to feel complete, so I did all the side quests. And they are boring, and they are irrelevant, and they don't give you any XP. But I kind of want to say, here we go, Kerry's just sent me a pie. So I did that. I do have quests available in some of the other maps. Thanalan, I played Monk first, so I started here. So I did all the side quests. I think a system I still don't really get is like the leave quests, lev quests, which is these. and guild hests as well. I don't get these. What I think they are is and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they're a special, repeatable kind of quest that once upon a time was a system for leveling alts. See, the way this game works is when you do the main story, you get crazy amounts of XP, but only the first time. And then it's like, okay, so I level monk for free, basically, from the main story XP. What do I do after that? Well, I think the original idea was you did these, which are, like, repeatable, and they're, like, special a little bit. They're a little bit more interesting than your standard fare. But here's the thing, that you can ignore them anyway. Just do your daily dungeons. So, like, they have these ideas of roulettes, right? Which is something Guild Wars really needs. Again, remember all the compliments I just gave to LFG? When you log into Final Fantasy every day, it's so clear what you do, and you're pushed into parties, and you make friends, and you play fun content because of their roulettes, right? So basically, how does this work? Here you go. So like roulettes, there's a roulette here for a level 50, 60, 70 dungeon. There's a leveling roulette I can do. Basically, if you do this, you get a free level up every day and then some, because it's just a crazy amount of XP. Or you can do dungeon grind through this LFG. Like, it's all very, very well made. So basically, the way that leveling works is just dungeons, as far as I can tell. And then, therefore, all of these things don't really matter. So I haven't, like, learned about them much. But I want to learn more about them. There's leave mates and guild hests. And there might be a third type as well. Alright, this game has dynamic events, and they're all really shitty and rubbish. But the dynamic events do have achievements. So, that's something I'm really interested in too. I have the game set up such that when I, like, hit a new map, like, for example, let's go to the Black Shroud, right? So, let's go to Quarry Mill. Here you'll see there's probably a couple of side quests available for me. When you hit a loading screen, you can have it set up that the game tells you all the bonus objectives that are available. Here you go, right? I think I can proc this in any way that I like. So achievements for the current area. So here, successfully complete. Their dynamic events are called Fates. Everything has a Why does every system have a ridiculous, like, alternate name? It's such a stupid thing. But anyway, so complete clearing the hive, defending the hive, or keeping the hive with the highest rating possible. So I kind of want to do this sort of stuff. I don't know what achievement certificates are. They have AP. I don't know why that matters. But, you know, I like learning about this stuff. So, you know, AP I'm actually kind of interested in. I don't know how much people care about that in Final Fantasy. Or whether even looking at the system is stupid. But it's captivated me to a certain degree. You know, I really like the idea of getting a lot of value out of the core game before I go on and complicate things even further with the later expansions and stuff. And there are billions of them. I've played no PvP, not even for a second. I know nothing about it. I don't know about ranking. I don't know what the Wolves' Den is. I don't know what Frontline is. I know they have kind of a world versus worldy system. I don't know any of that. Okay, so yeah, there's Grand Company shit as well, which I don't really know anything about either. I picked the Immortal Flames, because who doesn't want to be cool? And flames are cool. But there's also the Order of the Twin Adder. I mean, I get them a little bit as far as the story's concerned, but the rest I don't really know. So yeah, I have lots of gaps in my knowledge as far as that's concerned. People who want to take on my take on the story. Implementation, it's horrendous. Big picture and theme-wise, it's actually very good, I think. And it's very sophisticated. I love the tone. I don't know what, like, the overall arcing theme and idea is right now, but my feeling is that after the core game, they kind of got together and decided what the fuck they wanted the story to be about. And so then they started talking about it. There's, like, this arc to do with a Moogle. Basically, what I think the story is about is wish fulfillment as, like, a very broad, overarching idea. You know, in this world, as long as you have crystals around, you can kind of just imagine shit into being. And I think it's like, okay, let's tackle that concept. Like, how crazy is that? And it is very crazy. And so they have this idea of like primals, which right now are largely just big monsters, but I think they're going to expand on the idea of what primals are. That whole Bahamut raid was like breaking down and dissecting like how you can keep a primal subjugated by machines and through the wishes of dragons that you have permanently asleep and stuff. Like, it's cool. And anyway, I think those are the big ideas. But what this game's really good at is it does hold lots of, I mentioned this on an End of Dragons Daily recently. It holds lots of stories in its hand at once. Is there any way I can zoom out to the whole world? How do I do that? Here. Like, you know, it has an evil empire. Garlemald, I think it's called, right? It has an empire that's struggling with like a dragon war. It has the primal threat. It has the gods. It has this mysterious dark people called the Asians who are interested in their own god called Zodiark, who you guys will recognize from 12 if I ever go back to that playthrough in the short term. So, yeah, I think that's what it's about. And I think what that's done as well is that's opened them up with the later patches to just do a ton of fan service to other Final Fantasy games. Like, that's why you see Anima from Final Fantasy X is coming into this franchise. That's why you see that, like, Rabanasta is in this franchise. That's why they can do a crossover with Monster Hunter. That's why they can do a crossover with Nier Automata. As far as I can tell. I also know that they did like an alternate timeline story or an alternate reality story with one of the expansions. But I don't really know the specifics. So yeah, that's a little bit of my take on, I think the Far East. This is like their Cantha expansion. That's like the second one. I don't know what this is. I don't know what Norvrant is. Maybe that's the alternate dimension or something. I don't know. So yeah, I guess I'm looking for advice from you guys on what kind of content I should do. Like, should I just play through the story? Should I skip ahead? See, one thing that's kind of on my mind is, should we achievement hunt? I mean, if this was a truly authentic experience to me as a player, what I'd be doing is like fates to get achievements and stuff right now. I mean, that's really what I want to do more than anything else. Or like learn some of these other areas of the game. I don't really know what I'm doing. I mean, it's very tricky because like I kind of don't want to just jump in the middle of a ton of stories. But if we decide to do New Game Plus and go back to the earlier stuff, well, yeah, this has global cooldowns as well, which are lame as hell. If we do New Game Plus, where is it? New Game Plus. Here. So this is like their feature. And you'll see I've done Realm Reborn. Like, I kind of want to get all of these. I mean, I kind of want to just stream this stuff. Like, for example, I have the Binding Coil of Bahamut. I have the Crystal Tower Alliance raid, which was required. But is there like a trial? Am I missing one of these from the core game? I don't know. So Hildebrand is like this long fucking side quest that's quite funny and campy and goofy, and it just goes on and on and on. And it's about Gilgamesh, lots of fun. I think each expansion adds a new one, but the newest one doesn't. I think because the newest one isn't even in this reality or this world. Like, it's interesting to me that everyone says that the newest expansion is where this game got really good, but it's also in this newest expansion that they completely disconnect it from the rest of the game. It seems like a bit of an escape valve to me, but hey, who knows? I don't know. Am I missing additional stories? I don't know what this stuff is. Roll quests? Void quests? Tank quests? What the fuck is a tank quest? I know there's a whole tutorial system that I, like, skipped. By the way, everyone in chat, everything you're saying is valid. What I'll probably do is at some point look at this stream VOD and just watch what everyone's saying as my stream goes. As a true narcissist, I will catch what you're talking about, I promise. It's good to see you, Rocker, as well. I did notice you were typing earlier. Play through the content of each expansion. First do story, then X trials. Extreme, you mean. Synced if you can find a group. Then the Alliance, then the Raid and Savage, then move on to the next expansion. So you guys think I should just march on into Heavensward? Kerry says that Heavensward's really good, and she's desperate for me to play more Heavensward specifically. She thinks that's where the game started turning around. So, yeah, that's tank quest. Healer quest. I don't even have a healer class. So I guess I did Pugilist, right? This was a really boring story, by the way. Yeah, and like, I don't know. I kind of want to grab these, right? I'm guessing this DPS slot fills in when I do like their Hall of Champions or whatever their tutorial thing is. And then I could engage with Lancer, Dragoon, Samurai, Machinist, Dancer. The thing is, like, I don't know whether I can get my UI set up for every single class. It would also take a really long time to do all of them. Crafting didn't capture me. I don't know. It's more involved than in Guild Wars, but I don't know. I didn't really enjoy it much. I did Leather Worker. Oh! And then there's Gathering classes as well. I've never touched this. I've never gone mining. I've never done Botanist. I've never done fishing. This is all stuff I can do too, which is all core game, and I've missed all of that. But, yeah, this Leather Worker thing, I did start that because if you look on my quest log here, these are my current quests, and I got this. So their equivalent of legendary weapons are called relic weapons. They have kind of a different name for every expansion. And I was thinking, hey, maybe I should pick one of these up for the core game. But here's the thing. I looked a tiny bit into... I can't do the quest. I need Materia Enhanced Wildling Cesti or something. Anyway, and I need to craft those or buy them. But as a free-to-play account, I'm not allowed to access their trading post. My gil is capped at like 300,000. And I can't use the trading post. So there's basically gold is not a mechanic I can engage with much. Guild Wars does the exact same thing. So if I want this, I would have to craft it myself, which I'm kind of interested in, like to like learn about the game. But I started Leather Worker and got bored straight away. So yeah, and these are just like cosmetics. I need to learn about how like their glamour system works. There's like an inn that you can live in, and you can go to a wardrobe there, and you can change your stuff. Because there's a really cool dagger skin that I've got. Not dagger, fist skin that I got from some of the end game content. Let's go back to my monk for a second here. Right, so these are my eye level 130 things, right? So you can try on, you'll see what these look like. There's an unsheath button, I think. Toggle display mode. Oh, by the way, this gamepad stuff. This game's awful because it's like a ton of stuff that only matters for consoles and people playing on controllers is like bombed into the settings, and it's so like tricky to navigate and figure out. I can't remember how to make them unsheath. Anyway, these hellish claws. These are badass. Look at them. Hell yeah, baby. They look cool. And I want to wear those, but I would need to transmute them because they're actually technically slightly worse stats or something. And yeah, I mean, if mousing over this tooltip, when you see like strength and determination and vitality and direct hit rate and all the tenacity and stuff, like most of it you can just ignore. You just click recommended gear and that's it. It's a bit messy, all right? It is a bit messy, and I would say it's a bad side of Final Fantasy XIV. However, the past 2 days, I've been working on new player guides for Guild Wars 2. And I really stopped and assessed what it's like to be a new account that just hit 80 in Guild Wars 2. And if you want to do buildcraft, if you want to build like healer set, if you want to build like Zerka set or a Condi set and all that kind of shit, Guild Wars 2 is way more impenetrable. Guild Wars 2 is, and I actually think it's one of the biggest problems with that game. Final Fantasy isn't good, but it's leagues better than GW2. You guys watch. I've got a half-an-hour quick start guide that's going out later on tonight. Probably about 6... There's a new video on the channel right now. I should actually check the comments of that and make sure it's not bugged or something. And that the music's not too loud and all that kind of stuff. Oh, I could even advertise that the stream's live if I have a look. Yeah, that's a 10-minute guide. I have a half-an-hour quick start guide about gear, and it's crazy. You know, I have to tell people to go to, like, Verdant Brink to get bladed armor and shit. It's, like, really... And there's not... Did you guys know that there is nowhere in Guild Wars 2 where you can get a quick, reusable, stat-selectable, exotic weapon anywhere in PvE? You have to go to World vs. World or PvP and get it from a reward track, or hope that a festival's going on. Genuinely. There's nowhere that it's there. By the way, without crafting disciplines. Sorry, obviously you can craft them. But without going, that's a huge gold sink. My guide is guided to people who don't have a ton of money and haven't built a craft to 400. If you don't do that, Guild Wars is actually like, it's like, what the fuck? I can't even finish my build. You can do it for armor, like with bladed armor and stuff. Trinkets and ascended trinkets are all pretty good, but weapons, it's like, what? So I had to make this whole guide, and like I'm wrestling with it. I'm like, where do I recommend people go? Obviously, there's lots of cheap stuff on the TP for like Berserker and core stuff. But what if you want Vipers? What if you want Commanders? What if you want Diviners? What if you want Harrier? You know, you can't just go to meta battle and get a build and see they suggest this stat type. It's like a nightmare. It really is. It's a nightmare. ArenaNet need to really focus on it. Hopefully, you guys will see in the upcoming videos. Unless my knowledge of that game is a lot weaker than it should be, and yeah. Looks like the video's doing okay. It hasn't been dislike bombed, so I'll assume it's alright. I don't know why I'm advertising this. I don't know how much longer I'll be in FF14 here. But yeah, okay, so yeah, just some thoughts about gear. I don't know. What are your guys' take on all of that? I'm reading chat right now. What's everyone's takes? Guild weapons? Yeah, but guild weapons are commendations, aren't they? I mean, I'll edit my guide, but guild weapons are commendations. And I've got to recommend that people do those for trinkets. I did think of guild weapons, but... You can't get exotic guild weapons without spending commendations, right? I'm way too early in the game for gear to matter. Yeah, I mean, for Final Fantasy, yeah, I get that. I mean, you just get the eye level 130 stuff and that's it. Viper is way too tricky for a new player to get. It's actually not. You can get all the trinkets and you can get all the armor quite easily. Bladed exotic armor from Verdant Brink, very easy to get. You can get all your Viper's armor from that. And the trinkets, we all know how easy Ascended trinkets are. You can select all of that to be Vipers as well. Well, a good amount of it. I don't know. I mean, yeah. There's a problem with it. It's a real problem. Anyway, yeah, what do you guys want to see or hear about with Final Fantasy? Get my attention on something. Anyone got something they're dying to talk about or they want to hear me say? My other quests here are, oh my god, you guys could teach me this. So this is a whole format for side quests that I just don't get. This is a, this is a side quest where there is no direction. You have to solve a riddle. You have to, like... learn a little bit more about how fix your skill bars, this guy says. They're good. I like my skill bars as they are. There's nothing wrong with my skill bar. They're being arrogant. I like it. It's not going to be according to everyone's taste, but I like it for now. I've done that one. It's a series of riddles and puzzles. Yeah, see, but I immediately just kind of spammed through it like a casual, and I'm completely lost with this one. I don't really know what they were saying. Show us your mount collection. Okay. I have two mounts. I have the Magitech armor, and I have the Chocobo. The Chocobo you can customize and stuff, by the way, if you have an apartment, but I don't know that, and I haven't done any of that. So he's called Garnet. By the way, if I could change my name, Wooden Potatoes, to anything, if I could have a new YouTuber name, a new Twitch name, a new identity completely, I would call myself Garnet. That's who I'd be. I like that. Garnet. That's going to stick in all your tongues and be like, oh, that's weird. But that is, if I could choose this now, instead of being a dumb fuck 13-year-old naming my YouTube channel, if I could, you know, actually be an adult, I'd call myself Garnet. Yeah, all my names are references to other random stuff. Like, my main character is called Mation, named after the storyteller in Final Fantasy X. And because I'm a cat person, and you need two names in this game, I called myself Revgaji as well, which is a species of cat people in Evilis, in the 12 stuff. So yeah, that's all I got for mounts. Okay, the quest. There's a riddle on a statue near Vesper Bay. If you interact with it, you should be able to read with it again and solve it. I don't think it shows up in the quest text of the journal. Yeah, it told me... I remember where I got the quest. It was at Vesper Bay. You're totally right. Vesper Bay. You're totally right. But, I couldn't see what to interact with there. Let's go have a look. And for what it's worth, this is the only quest of its ilk I've ever found. Do they go back and do more of it in the expansions or something? I don't know. So So yeah, mounts aren't very good in this game as far as I can see. The multi-people mounts are pretty good. And there's a lot of variety, but in terms of like, competing with Guild Wars 2 stuff, they're not very good. They're a bit clunky to get on and off of and so on. Basically, everything about this game is clunky, and it takes a while to acclimate to. Once you have acclimated, you find the true spirit of the game, and I think you realize it's pretty good. But, on the surface, the moment-to-moment combat and stuff is way clunkier and way fiddlier and not as reactive and responsive and satisfying as Guild Wars. And that's just the truth, guys. Guild Wars, when people say Guild Wars 2's combat's good, that's what they mean. They mean the immediate moment-to-moment, satisfaction and fluidity. That's what they're talking about. But games like these succeed much better in group composition, in DPS requirements, in telegraphs, in all that other stuff. They're way better. So, it's a bit of both worlds. ArenaNet do have, like, this ticking time bomb on their hands, where if they can tap into what other MMOs do, they can have the best of both worlds, and they'll destroy everyone. They really will. But does ArenaNet have the talent for it? Do they have the ambition for that kind of stuff? Who knows? It's a bit difficult to have that ambition when half your community is telling you that you need to be a casual game that never has raids, right? Story for another day. Yeah, so carved upon the statue is a series of strange characters. Next to them, written in chalk, you find Valiant Heart's translation. See, what? This is all I've got. Ren, Flow, Speed, Tells, Fire, Lightning, Water, Earth, Ice, Wind. The wheel must turn anew. See, I didn't know if I needed, like, some spell or something. How's buildcraft in Guild Wars in this game? It's awful. It doesn't exist. Do not play this game as a buildcraft game. Do not play it. Play a game like PoE. Play a game like Monster Hunter. Play a game like Guild Wars 1. Guild Wars 2, if they get the balance better. Again, Guild Wars 2's just got, like, 2 years of really decent development and, like, craft cleaning up to be the best MMO. But it's, like, 2 years out, at least. Or even play like grand strategy games. Play fucking Paradox games. Play Stellaris, which I'm streaming tomorrow. Play Total War Warhammer. Play those games for Buildcraft. Final Fantasy is not your place. Yeah, I don't know. What is this? Why play a game that's a pain? Well, look, I think that you have to have some tolerance for what I call acclimation, Like, I can go back to a game that released in the 1990s, and it will look awful, and it will feel awful, and it will feel clunky, and that's all I'll be able to focus on. Give me a couple of hours in it, though. You forget about all that stuff, and you kind of get the real story. You get the idea of what they're going for with the gameplay, what they're going for with the story, how their ludonarrative works. It all kind of starts clicking into place because you ignore that acclimation. And you kind of cheat yourself out of a lot of really great video game experiences if you can't handle that, You have to kind of grit your teeth and push through. And there is no other video game genre where that's more true than MMOs. The only MMO that doesn't have that clunky acclimation process, I would say, for moment-to-moment experience, is Guild Wars 2. All the other ones. Take your pick. Fucking 2D side-scrolling ones, which in theory could be the best of the lot. All the ones that are currently available are rubbish, right? Like MapleStory, Ghost. Look at, like, WoW. I remember playing WoW Classic, the exact same experience. Even Retail WoW looks like the same experience. I remember streaming BDO for you guys, exact same experience. Perfect World was one of my old MMOs. Same experience. Final Fantasy XIV, same shit. There's only one studio that was ever professional enough to beat it. And they've messed up on the later game stuff. Besides Buildcraft, I think you should wait for your first 80 extreme trial before you form an opinion on the general combat. What you're saying is all very true for leveling, but will genuinely change a lot later. Again, I actually have quite a high opinion of what I've seen of the raids and the later stuff. Don't get me wrong. Wait, are you telling me Buildcraft exists at 80? Sorry, hold on. Hold the phone. Are you telling me that FF14 has Buildcraft, but only at 80? Like, I can customize the way my monk plays. By the way, there are, like, vestiges of Buildcraft in this game. Like, there's skill speed materia versus direct hit materia and shit like that, but it's all just hand-waved and ignored. Okay, no. Alright, I am still right, yeah. Okay, yeah, so there's materia. I'm looking forward to materia mattering, because I get really dismayed playing the core game, and materia is just, like, rubbish. I don't even need skill trees. I just want, maybe I want to decide between damage or global cooldown speed. or choose between movement speed, or yeah, you guys know the drill. You know what buildcraft looks like. There's a tiny bit of buildcraft. Anyway, someone help me. What is this? Here, we'll do something. If you guys in chat help me with this, I'll be over the moon. And again, all my takes here, guys, just view this stream as, like, getting a sense of, like, a noob coming to the game. And you can kind of get a good sense of who I am as a person and stuff, I think, through my early observations. They're not, like, real good observations. You know, go to a veteran player for that. People in chat. I know this is anecdotal, but I've had the exact same opposite experience getting people into Guild Wars 2. They found it too hard. Well, look, it depends what scale you're dealing with. You dump a Guild Wars 2 player straight into the PvP, yeah, they're going to do awful. It's impenetrably difficult. You dump them into the raids, they're not going to understand why they're beating them. Like, who was that started playing Guild Wars 2 raids? Some big content creator came over. They played raids and they said, oh, they're really easy. It's like, fuck you. You don't know that they're easy. You got carried by 9 other people that already solved it. You don't know that, you know? You don't know that because you haven't done progression and you haven't, like, worked your way through it. Yeah, and it's like, okay, well, apparently that was the Peon guy. I've never really seen his stuff. But, you know, situations like that, it's very difficult to really get a grip on that game. It's very slippery. But what I'm talking about is, like, the early stuff. Pre-80. You know, you put someone into Guild Wars 2 on a warrior or an Ellie or something for that core story. Like, it feels fun and responsive and impactful and things work, you know. Their exact blend of hotkey versus action combat is a real treat. Is really good. No one comes close. That's what I'm saying about Guild Wars 2. This sounds like you're discouraged from streaming this. I hope you're able to get through the main... No. I have a high opinion of FF14, guys. I have a high opinion. I feel like my communication is, like, bad. Because people think I'm, like, this hateful, crippled, you know, rotten soul. I like this game. I really do. And I'm optimistic about the future of the game. Look, if the entire internet is screaming that it becomes the best thing since sliced bread, I'll believe them. I'm not so arrogant that I don't believe them. See, there's Kerry again saying that the upcoming expansion's amazing. Sorry, what's it? Shadowbringers. SHB, Shadowbringers. Sorry to people watching this VOD on Wood Potatoes 2, by the way. I don't have chat on screen. I mean, look, I'll go in... You guys know me. I'm a hipster, all right? I don't give a shit. If I don't like it, I'll tell you that I don't like it, all right? I'm not going to fall to overhype and just go with the crowd. If it's rubbish, I will talk about how it's rubbish, and I'll try to analyze why I think everyone's got it wrong. But the truth is, I think I'll probably like it. You teaching WP how to single pool dungeons? Oh no, I'll do big pulls, baby. I'll run through in those dungeons. We could do a dungeon if you want. I want to finish this quest. Does anyone know? Am I missing it? I should look really close. Should I scroll up? Yeah, she says I don't play enough with them. What you guys have to understand is everyone that I hang out with in Discord at the end of the day are like hardcore fucking nerds that grind the shit out of the game. I've got 150 hours. Kerry, how many hours have you got? She's got like probably 500. We started the game at the same time. She started playing this game because I said I'm interested in picking it up. It might be good for YouTube and stuff. We started playing at the same time. And she can tell you how many more hours she's got. Not to mention Hamatu, who's lurking. Oh, yeah, she doesn't play on Steam, so she doesn't know how many hours she's got. 24 days. How many hours is that? 24 times 24? I can't do that off the top of my head. What server am I on? I'm on Cactar, but it wouldn't let me log on, so I'm on Adamantoist at the moment. Posted my thoughts about it on WP Content Chat channel, but somebody did post a solution. Oh, in my Discord. People have solved this in Discord, have they? Let's have a look. WP Content Chat. I don't see it. Oh, I think they're talking about something else. Unless it's in Content Help. Oh, it is? No, that's a different thing. People are talking about the Ross-Rachel relationship in Friends, about the gods interior. What? A comparison between the TV sitcom Friends and the Guild Wars 2 gods. Oh, here we go. From Ziante. Ziante said, Ren flows... blah, 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 blah. Thal's Respite. So go to Thal's Respite, which is in Eastern Thanalan. Sorry, so I actually just have to use my real world brain. I actually have to solve this as a real puzzle. I don't understand how you made that. How did you do that? Ren flow speed tells re. Florential's spire. Oh, I think he's just copied it from the wiki. Yeah, this is a randomly generated quest. I think it's a really interesting concept, by the way. In many ways, this is beautiful to me. It's like randomly generated, so you're not meant to be able to look up online how it works. But I guess they didn't generate many. There's only 3 paths, so he's just done it. Osharon's embrace. If she types uptime, no spaces into game chat, it will show how many hours she's played on that tune. Oh, I see. Right, well, I guess I'll just copy what Twitch chat says on this so that we get some progress. But I don't understand how that was done. So, Eastern Thanalan, Thul's Respite. We're in Western Thanalan. If anyone has any advice about my UI or whatever, keeping the game as clean as possible. I was talking about it a long time ago in the Spud Discord. I think Mina put a screenshot up. She had like a really good UI. It was a bit small for my taste, but what I'm more interested in is not necessarily the heads-up display, but actual like in combat, being able to see animations and not have too many floating numbers and all that shit. That's what I'd like most. So we're at a settlement, but this is Camp Drybone. Let's put the text on. I'm very impressed, by the way, with how many dungeons FF14 has. Like, they're very simple. They're just like a small interior that you almost linearly run through. They're very simple, and they have very limited mechanics. But you can kind of tell at original power balance that they were kind of interesting. And, you know, they just got such a high quantity. Like, you can't argue with this. Look how many there are. It's really good. I'm genuinely impressed with that. For a while, I thought that Guild Wars 2 and FF14 were copying each other. Because the first dungeon I did, or remember doing anyway, is the Tamtara Deepcroft, which is kind of Ascalon Catacombsy. And then there was... like, then I did like a manor. I did like a manor, I think, in the main quest. I think it was this one, the Hawk Manor. And I was like, oh, that's like Cordicus's manor. It's the same order. And then I did like... was it Brayflox's long stop? And I was like, oh my god, this feels exactly like TA. It genuinely felt like I was going through the exact same motions. But, you know, Final Fantasy has so many more, and they're all so pretty and in different areas of the world, so... It was a gut feeling that's totally wrong, alright? But it was an observation I'd had. Also, my god, I've noticed how much Guild Wars has already been shamelessly just taking from this game. And I hate that shit. I hate realizing that ArenaNet only find inspiration for Guild Wars 2 once they're playing FF14. Because do you know what I noticed? Has anyone ever seen this comparison? Made this comparison? Alliance raids. Where are they? Where are you? Labyrinth of the Agent? No. It's the World of Darkness, I think. You know Triple Trouble? Triple Trouble got added to Guild Wars 2 around the same time as this Alliance raid was added to FF14. And they both had the exact same mechanic. You know the Cobalt Worm at Triple Trouble? Where you like got to cover yourself in spit or whatever so that the character swallows you and then you fight your way out? That's just because Final Fantasy did that. They just copy-pasted that idea from Final Fantasy. It's the same thing. And I've noticed that in a lot of places. It's like, wow, this is identical. This is identical. Yeah, the Cerberus fight. And I've started noticing that now. I'm like, okay, so this is what it's like to not be a monogamer. And I don't remember anyone during the Triple Trouble days saying, oh my god, guys, this is just Cerberus. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's unprofessional or whatever, but it's interesting. There's like these whole new worlds that are kind of opening up to me to a certain degree. And it's obvious that happening the other way. Fate, this shitty Fate system is clearly just, oh, it's dynamic events. Okay, we'll copy that. All right, Thal's Respite. Yeah, that Alliance raid isn't... apparently, it's really boring. I'm kind of enjoying it as a DPS because I'm very slow-brained and it takes me a long time to learn my rotation and stuff. And then when I'm playing tank, I like being, you know... there's like, how many people? is 3 parties of 8, right? So 24 people, and I'm the one with the aggro. I'm the hero. I love that shit. Yeah, I've been here multiple times. What am I supposed to be looking for? For your quest, go to Florental's Spire. Oh. Oh, I guess we read it wrong. In the western North Shroud. Wait, the North Shroud. Is that a place in the Black Shroud? What's this icon? What's this weird floaty icon? You're going to see how much of a noob I am. Is it in Mordona that the North Shroud is? No. Is the North Shroud the Thanalan area that connects to it? No. Oh, it's once you've unlocked Mount Flight. Oh, okay. The icon is that I can fly in that area. Right, okay, thank you, everyone. It is in the Black Shroud. Did I just misread it? I did see it right. Central, East, South, North. I'm so dumb. I can't believe I was just blind to that. I just couldn't see it. Thank you very much for the sub. Listen, guys, anyone subbing today, anyone clicking follow today, any of that stuff, I'm watching really closely because you know the more successful a stream like this is, the more confident and happy and comfortable I'll be to keep playing this game and do more. So if even a little bit of that's in your gut, I'm paying attention. You know, I'm taking it seriously. So thank you very much. Thank you. And that was Mia then. Mia. Just the character. Okay. Wait, and what did we want to do there? North Shroud. But where in the North Shroud was it? Oh, here's the solution. Sort the letter groups above elements in chat to this order of elements. Oh, I get it now. The lower row. I see. Okay. Right, yeah, my quest had a different seed to the one that we were doing. Yeah, I understand all of that. So we're going to Florental's Spire. Which is just here. So not too far away. Good amount of quests to do here. See, I was just going through all of these, but now that I have 2 characters that have like already hit their max levels, I'm like disincentivized to do it. What I kind of want to do is pick up a healer or something and like filter these in to my dungeons. But it's tricky because their level variations are all over the place. Like these are all level 28 and that's fine. But this guy's level 7, level 5, level 5. So it's a little bit hard. So sorry, the spire here. Oh, the maps feel really weird with mounts, by the way. You kind of start flying around real quick. I would say that like 40% of the Around Reborn content is just getting through the main story. It's only 40%. The majority of the time that you spend is in their like Living Worlds updates. It takes ages. There's like so many quests. And through that whole period, you're just flying around, and it feels like you're kind of like, I don't know, the maps get a lot uglier once you get like a lot of the higher vistas. Like a lot uglier. Oh my god, is it up the spire? Can we climb up there? Golem fragment. No, that's just a part of the quest, the fate. Oh look, we got a hype train. It's at 94%. Thank you guys. It's not these guys. They're just gonna offer me new quests, right? Flying in Around Reborn wasn't in the game till last year. Yeah, you can really feel it. You can feel it's one of those things where it's like, okay, they've diminished the experience just to give people quality of life. And I do feel like it was a bit lame, but I mean, it's so much movement speed. It's so much like comfort. Now that's a weird icon. Oh, that's just because it's a send items in dynamic event. Oh, we hit level 2. Thanks, guys. I swear, that notification sound should be a variation. It should be doing the Guild Wars 1 ping noise. It shouldn't be doing that. It should be rarely doing that. I don't know. I'll have to look at that. Yeah, it's exactly the same as like core adding Guild Wars 2 adding mounts to core. Oh, pink is a fake quest giver. Oh no, yeah. I thought you meant relic quest for a second. Well, look, we're over at Finder's Bluff there. Then that's definitely not right. Does this quest genuinely want me climbing this goddamn thing? No. This is the ceiling. I am sorry about that, guys. The Guild Wars 1 ping used to throw you every time. Yeah, I prefer the Guild Wars 1 ping. It's much better. It's supposed to be a special treat. The divinity noise is supposed to be a special treat, not a constant goddamn thing. Holy crap, what is this? Oh, by the way, I do often use like this UI. I like this a lot. I've always enjoyed it. Even though I hear it's inefficient and inoptimal and so on. Talk to the novice explorer at the spire. Oh, so there's just no icon at all. It is just... Okay. Yeah, this is a very weird quest, guys. Don't judge the game too hard on this. This is just kind of faffing about while we talk about the game. At long last, does the wheel turn anew? See, here's the other thing. There's not much voice acting in this. So if I was going to do a big story playthrough for you guys, I would be speaking a lot. I don't even know whether I want to commit to that. Praise the 12. Oh, and I would be pronouncing things wrong. Master Wineboard told me it might be years, even decades until one came, if someone came, but I swore an oath so I couldn't. You don't understand, this is also exciting, but you're not here for that. You're here for me. You're here for the treasure, aren't you? This is the journal, and it belongs to you now. No, that's not true. It was always yours. You had yet to claim it is all. Keep it close, fellow explorer. Right. A thick yet compact... Oh, they're really good with flavor text in this game on items. They're really good. A thick yet compacted tome filled with cryptic riddles and queer sketches. If one were to know its secrets, a log could quite possibly be the key to discovering wondrous treasure. Well, I don't know then, actually.
Join the Spud Club if you got an eye for farm potatoes.
By the way, you guys do hear the game, right? And at a good volume. It's not too quiet. So sorry, what do you want me to do with this? He never told us what it was, the treasure. I think he thought just knowing was enough to put us at risk. So he hid it. He left clues so only an explorer worthy of the prize could ever hope to succeed. They called him a charlatan, but I know he spoke the truth. It's real, and if you find it, and then show it to me, won't you? FFUI, oh my god, what is this? These are all gifted subs as well. You guys had best be thankful to the people gifting these. I'm gonna turn it off. I gotta turn it off. It's too much.
Join the Spud Club if you got an eye for farm potatoes.
You have to admit you was insanely disappointed by how much little voice acting there is in FF14. That's interesting. That's really... Because I wasn't. I'm fine with the voice acting in this game. Really. I actually prefer it. You know, I've gone through phases with the story where I'm thinking to myself, the alert spam takes you back to Divinity. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I have moments with the story where I'm not that into it, so I kind of like just gloss over. I'm not even like taking it in that much, but because I'm glossing over, I can skip through the dialogue a lot quicker and whatever. And I really valued that. I think that Guild Wars pushes people away by forcing you to listen to goddamn Timey ramble on when you're not really that into it at the time. And then, of course, when big moments happen, they put the voice act in there. I don't know. I think being able to take it at your own pace is, like, so important. And can it foster a lot? And I don't know. It flares my imagination more as well. I think it's the right way to go. The only place that I think that this game missed VO is like in Fates, you really need it. Dialogue that's triggering during boss fights. Come on, I'm not reading lore text while I'm in a fight. Guild Wars 1, that didn't work. It doesn't work in this game either. If you're going to have your boss speak in the fight, he should actually speak. And during like random open world stuff, when they're delivering story in tandem with gameplay, that's where they should put the voice acting. I don't even need voice acting in most of the cutscenes, and they don't do it in most of the cutscenes. I think it's fine. I think that this game actually is a testament. How much people get into this game and get into this story is a testament to how little voice acting really matters. I think that BioWare threw a ton of money away on SWTOR. I think ArenaNet have thrown a ton of money away on Guild Wars 2. And like opportunity for creative expression and stuff. Just because they focus too much on voice acting. To be fair, that's not a particularly new take of mine, but yeah. Boss fights have more voice acting late expansions. That makes sense to me. I'm scrolling up here because I'm trying to see if anyone said something about this goddamn journal. You are crippling your own performance and DPS by using macros. They prevent GDCQ and completely ruin OGDC weaving between GDC. Please fix your skill bars and stop using macros for any skills except crafting rotations. So are you telling me that when I like... Oh, we're on the wrong class. When I queue this guy, because this has a face target macro on it, it delays the beginning of the GTC. See this here? Because to my eyes, there's absolutely no delay on the beginning of that GDC at all. I think you completely understand what I'm using macros for. I've never read online anywhere what you said. What you said only applies to if you're chaining skills together, which I'm not doing. And I already discussed. Like, it's instant. There's no delay. There's absolutely no... That's exactly the same as if that was the regular skill. Right, I think I'm going to give up on the journal. I don't think we know. I'll just wiki it at some point. Oh, no, there we go. You have to go talk to the guy at the back. The guy back at the inscription. Check your log. Oh, I'll just go return to him? Right, okay. Well, I did check my log, and it didn't say where to go or anything, did it? Oh, no, it does now actually trigger a map. Good shit. It's missing the server buffer, and you will only feel it in endgame stuff. So it's like a fraction of a second. There may be a delay if you use a macro after another macro. Yeah, there are actually little lines you can write in there to augment that behavior. You can have a macro wait for the previous one to finish queuing before you do another one, or you can actually set it up so that they don't interfere with each other. Like, for example, if I'm in the middle of my auto attack chain, which is, you know, macroing to face target and swap skill bars, if I'm in the middle of this, I can overlap with low blow. Because this is instant activation and not on GCD. If you set it up wrong, they will interfere with each other, but I haven't set it up wrong. They don't interfere with each other. You've returned. Tell me, did you solve the riddle? Where did it lead you? So is this format of quest being used in lots of places? The Journal of the Explorer itself. I knew I was right to trust in you. I have news to share as well, though it's not quite as uplifting. I've deciphered another passage, only to find myself confronted with yet another inscrutable riddle. But I'm sure you'll have no trouble with it, given how quickly you deduced the answer to the first one. You'll find my translation next to the messages before I'm counting you. Oh, God. Alright, well, let's see. Wait. Is this the same one as before? No, it's new. Scytocesias semithes. Isodia knows the truth. Oh, we're at level 4. Thank you very much, guys. Level 4 hype train. That's awesome. You end up drifting your GCDs. Drifting your GCDs. It adds up over time. I'll have to look up because I don't know what you guys are talking about. I don't know what that means, drifting your GCDs. That sounds like voodoo magic to me. It doesn't sound like what's actually going on. I'm well aware that the Final Fantasy community has this big, like, pushback against chaining skills together with macros. That's not what I'm doing. I'm very familiar with all those conversations and articles and discussion. And yeah, some of my other macros are more basic stuff. I had one that, like, announced when I used, what's it called? What's the mantra? What's the skill that increases everyone's healing or something? Not that I've ever really meaningfully used that ability. Alright, I'll bookmark that video. I'm not chaining my auto attacks. No, I'm not chaining my auto attacks. I have not got a macro. I have not got a single macro that has 2 skills in it. Not a single one. All my macros do is swap skill bars. That's all that they do. Which is something that happens while GCD's up. In an instant. Yeah, I don't know how this works. It's not them being in the same macro kills your GCD. It's the macros at all can't be queued. Yeah, I have noticed that. I can understand that. What that means is, like, with a regular skill, you can queue it up, right? So, like, if you press to use a regular skill, like a fraction of a second before it's available, it will, like, wait in a queue and then trigger at the exact frame that it's possible. But if you're using a macro, you can't queue. So you have to be the one that presses it as soon as possible. I get that. I get that we can talk about a tiny fucking little fraction of a second. I do understand that, and maybe at some point I'll look at that, but I'm not going to give up fucking so much quality of life for, like, a petty little fraction of a second, which I can do myself just by pressing the button as soon as it's there. There's no way. That is not a good trade-off. You know, come talk to me when I'm doing, like, the most hardcore savage extreme raids or whatever, you know. Then, yeah, I'd start looking at that kind of minutia, but to me, it sounds like nonsense to talk about at this point. It's not a fraction of a second, it's closer to half a second. What? Well, then when it becomes a big period of time like that, I can just myself make sure I'm not so delayed in half a second pressing the button. And no, I'm not using automatic. There's a setting to automatically face target on all skills. Yeah, you can do that as well. Yeah, and yeah, in the event that it became a problem, that is what I would do. I would just toggle it on as a global option and then tweak off the macros. And they're not all macroed, not every single one. It's pretty wild how huge your interface is. The more you played, the smaller and more compact it got. Yeah, I went through a period where I made my UI smaller and smaller and smaller in the games I played. And then I went through a period where I got them bigger and bigger and bigger. I don't know. I like looking at skill art, and I don't know, bringing it into the experience to a certain degree. I could definitely make it smaller. What I mostly want smaller is, like, nameplates and stuff like that. And, like, in-world UI. I don't mind a big HUD, but I don't like this giant arrow showing that I'm targeting something. And, you know, once you actually initiate an auto attack, it has, like, that ring that appears, this thing here, like, showing that I'm autoing. Like, it's crazy to me. It's like, do I really need all this UI? But as far as I know, there's no easy way to shrink that stuff down. Mostly I use enmity meter anyway for targeting and stuff. That's the first thing you notice, the nameplates? Yeah. There is a way to scale nameplates, but it scales, like, a ton of other stuff as well at the same time, and it just gets a little bit tricky. Is that period called aging and my eyes are getting worse? It might be. I mean, my eyes are... I am short-sighted, right? So when I'm looking far away, I do. But sitting in front of a screen, I see with pretty much perfect clarity, I'd say. So yeah, I don't know. What else should we talk about, really? I don't know. Maybe we should leave it there. Okay, let me ask again. I know people have answered earlier. What do you think I should do? Should I just go into Heaven's Ward and just do a stream every now and then, catching you guys up with my progress and, like, just chatting a bit about it? Yeah, the ground ring is important. Yeah, yeah. I would never get rid of the ground ring because I do need that. Yeah, when you guys say MSQ, right, that's main scenario quest, right? What do you mean, though? Do you mean starting at Heaven's Ward? Or do you mean going back to the beginning? What do you guys think about doing a new character? I don't know with all this stuff. I don't know. If you don't want to stop to read dialogues a lot. Well, no, I like the idea of putting on a real show. I don't know, though. It's weird. If it was like a proper feeling show, I just happened to stream it. I could put them up as VODs on my main channel and see how the VODs do, you know? We could actually do a series. The only thing I'm a bit worried about with that is I'm in the middle of a 12 playthrough at the moment, so it would look a bit weird to put that on break and then bring a fucking 14 playthrough on. Alts are pretty heavily discouraged. Yeah, whole new characters. Yeah, yeah, I get that. I get that. See, I think they hit a really good balance with this game on that as well. Because you do get, like, I identify with my one character, the one race that I'm playing, the one this, the one that. But on the other hand, you still get to go back and experience fresh progression by playing new classes. It's a really clever trick. And I remember them talking about that way back when the original game came out too. Of course, that was then a botched release, but yeah. Yeah, the 12 playthrough is still happening. It's just not on my mind right now. You're currently in Heaven's Ward yourself and would love to hear my opinions on the story. Plus, you don't need a new character to play. Well, yeah, I'm a little bit in. Here's where I am in Heaven's Ward. I've been to 2 new maps. This is a snowy map. And the other one I went to... Oh, God, I don't know, actually. I don't know how to browse the maps. They're all in Kurthus, right? Is it called the Pillars? No. I can't remember. I was in like a flying place. I was like in the sky. This was last time I played. I can't remember. Oh no, Alabatha's Spine. That's what it was, right? Yeah, here. This is where I was. I don't really get how all the world maps and locations tie together on this. But yeah, and this place is interesting because it sometimes looks pretty good, and then sometimes it looks really, I don't know, really janky. I haven't got any other chocobo keeps, so I don't know where they would take me to. I'd have to find another one. I do kind of like the idea of unlocking some porters, but this is all I could do. I could maybe cross that bridge over there and see what's over there. But like, yeah, I'm really at the start. You know, I visited them a little bit, the Ishgardians. I became a ward of House Fortance, and it seems pretty much same shit at the moment. I met a new lesser race or whatever they call tribal, yeah, beast tribe. I met a new beast tribe here, and oh, by the way, and I'm sure that they'll summon a primal. In fact, they have already summoned one. I'm sure I'll fight later. Look at these things. One thing I have to compliment FF14, right, that is so good about this game is enemies. They're so cute and cool. Like, this is a cat wearing, like, little mechanical enchanted bat wings. Gale cat or whatever it is. That is so cool. I really, really, really love the way that FF14 did a lot of their enemies. And I'll just stand around, like, looking at them. I don't know if it has a formal bestiary. Does anyone know if it has a formal bestiary? So that's been a real treat. And there's such a high variety as well. Not to mention there's all the anthology stuff, you know. If you're a fan of Tomberries, you know, there's a dungeon all around Tomberries, and you find cactuars wandering around, and they have like all cute idle animations and stuff. And all the bosses are really varied. It's good. What's the other cool thing that I saw here? Like, almost everything that I'm seeing at the moment, I'm like, oh my god, that's cute. This is a surprising comment, WP, considering how you feel about Quaggins and Guilty. I feel generally, look, I like that they're cute. I like that they're cutesy. I appreciate what that adds to the game, and Baby Quaggin especially, right? What my problems with Quaggin in Guild Wars 2 are when they are in like serious fucking story and being treated like serious warriors while going like it's really misaligned, and it feels especially insulting in Guild Wars because they've got such a problem of the whole game feeling too light and too cartoony and too like funsies, which just doesn't match the subject material or the tone. Final Fantasy doesn't have those problems. When Final Fantasy wants to be real, it's being real. You're not going to find a fucking galley cat talking to you like, oh, come on, Roban, I know they've just chopped off your arm and we must escape from Uldar. Let's go. Meow, meow, meow. You know, they don't do that. ArenaNet does that. Not to mention as well, the Quaggin did have a badass side, the whole transformation Hulk thing. The devs just forgot about. Oh, we don't want that. We want friendly things. And now it's gone, you know. That's what annoys me about the Quaggin. And the script, too, to a certain degree. The script are better. Final Fantasy doesn't do those things, you know. So when it wants to be cute and funsies, I like it. I mean, have you met Tataru? Yeah, okay, look, and I don't like Tataru too much. I mean, I agree with that. Tataru, it kind of aggravates me a bit in the main quest scenarios. It kind of aggravated me a bit right before Heaven's Ward, where like shit was popping off, and they had me go do a side quest where I teach Tataru how to like cast her first spell or some shit. And I'm like, what is this? Like, Jesus Christ. Look, Final Fantasy XIV has its share of problems, especially in the Realm Reborn stuff. My god, there's a whole arc in the Realm Reborn story where they literally just put the brakes on everything and say, go talk to this random guy at a bar, and he's going to give you a million side quests of complete filler. Like the most shameless, terrible filler that you can imagine. And you're literally going to spend like a whole play session that night. If you're not like hardcore nerding it and charging through. You're going to spend a whole play session just doing nothing. Like it's pure waffle. On the other hand, though, I have read that FF14 has done quests. Yeah, it has done updates where they just cut quests out. Quests of that variety. Like pure waffle filler quests. Apparently, like half of them aren't even in the game anymore. They just got rid of them. And I think that whole sequence at the bar, anyone who picks up the game, you'll know what I'm talking about. That whole like sub-arc might have just been something they forgot to remove. But, oh boy. You know, this game does have its problems. And tonally, Tataru's a bit weird. I don't know, though. I mean, maybe by the time Shadowbringers comes around, they've chopped her fucking head off. Because you know what? I think that's the kind of thing this game would do. I can imagine a bit in the story where they chop Tataru's head off. I can imagine it. I'm not saying I'm predicting it or it will come up. But I believe that might happen. I never believe that ArenaNet would never chop Timey's head off. They would never chop her head off. I think that Final Fantasy XIV has balls. And for that reason, it arrests me. Tataru is front and center on the Endwalker poster. Oh, God. Well, you know, we'll see. She's also just like a small piece of the cast. She didn't end up, you know, looming over the whole story and being our primary. And for what it's worth, it's not just like cute little races. Minfilia is rubbish as well. Minfilia is, like, I kind of get the idea that she's like our leader to a degree, and she's like, you know, quiet and contemplative and, you know, blah, 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 blah. Maybe it's a trope that people enjoy. But she's boring as sin. There's been some other dodgy stuff, like the voice actor cast changing. Like, it feels a bit weird to me. I'm right in the middle of that. I feel like I'm in Pokemon Season 3 right now when they get to Hoenn. And just after a couple of episodes, suddenly you've got a whole new Jesse and James and stuff. And apparently the new VA, they're done in, like, Dublin or something. They're done in Ireland. Apparently they're good. But I'm in a weird place with that at the moment. And again, that's the thing, like, they're so slow speaking and slow tedious, and all the camera angles and all the slow pans and the slow fade in to black and then the slow fade out. It's just like, oh. But again, you acclimate. That's the thing, you acclimate. And once you acclimate, all that matters is, do the devs have an efficient way of adding a lot of content? You've acclimated to what's rubbish about it. Are you enjoying yourself now? And the answer is yes, you will be. The Japanese voice cast didn't change? Well, the English one definitely did. The dialogue's good, but verbose and overwritten for sure. Yeah, that's a problem with the localization in a lot of Final Fantasies, honestly. The current playthrough I'm doing of 12 on my channel has the same problem. Right, well, there's no porter here. I was hoping that there would be a chocobo porter. Since I can't fly, I'm kind of stuck at the moment. It's weird seeing level 51 stuff out in the open world. Oh, so yeah, I'll show you. Can I monk or am I in combat? No, I'm in combat. I want to fight all this stuff. I'm pretty weak on Dark Knight. It takes me a long time to fight stuff. I haven't actually played monk in this expansion yet because my monk's already level 60 before I even started it because I was doing roulettes and stuff. And so it's like, well, I'm not leveling up if I play on monk. So I'm doing it all on Dark Knight at the moment. And I was playing with Kerry before, which was really nice because she could just kill things. Monk is the only fun melee. Yeah, I've been quite satisfied by it once I really started to trigger into it a bit more. I've not really looked up like proper rotation strategy and stuff, so don't cringe too much. Those of you obsessing over like an 1/8 of a second on a button press on a macro or whatever are probably going to cringe here. But how I open right now is I trigger I just got 2 new skills that I'm getting used to, but I get all my chakras going, right? I trigger this. I can't remember what it's called. But what this does is give me any stance. And I open with a demolish. And it gives me that. So demolish, you hit from the back. And then I do the side kick. And then I give myself my regular damage buff. And then I hit them with then we move into the other side of it. Oh, I should have... Yeah, I haven't played Monk for a while either. Also, what I can do is just spam 3 on my keybind. I'll do this in... when I'm range as well. If I just spam 3, I can just rotate through my AoE combo as well, which is what I do a lot of in dungeons. Just spamming this. And then, yeah, when you think you can finish someone off, you can trigger the Forbidden Chakra. I don't actually know if that's a rear or flank thing. I also tend to spam Shoulder Tackle. This is one of the only Guild Wars 2 feeling skills. It's a gap close, right? So I do that. I don't recharge all my mantras. Maybe that's wrong. But spamming my mantra, like this button here, meditation, this seems like a waste of time. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then finally I can get it back. That seems like a waste. And I think in my later skills, I'll get those available. And then if I can't hit people, or quite often, I just sort of spam True North to make sure I'm in the back. This is my newest skill. This is like some big ass AoE, which I have absolutely no muscle memory for whatsoever. Oh yeah, and you can stun them as well so that you can actually move behind. I probably won't play too much Monk. Fuck, I got no muscle memory anymore. I probably won't play too much Monk because I'm always spinning, and I think that people will get really annoyed with that. In solo content, I'm always spinning. The other thing I can do is feed Garnet a Geisel Green, and there's all these buttons I don't really know. Maybe you guys can teach me about this. But yeah, I like this, by the way. The Chocobo gets his own storage, which I have like random dyes and stuff. I have this, which will change my race. I kind of want to become a Ronso, by the way. Yeah, but there's the companion system, right? But the only companions in the game, am I wrong? The only companions in the game are Chocobos. I don't think there are other ones. Later, I think there's a thing where you can do dungeons with main story characters or some shit. But I don't think that's the actual companion system. So anyway, you can give them different stances. And I'm wondering if I can do defender stance. Will he draw aggro if I'm on the defender stance? I just give him free stance. Let's see, shall we? Companion skill level 2. Oh, I got to level him up, though. So, I don't know. I mean, that all seems pretty fun. I like chocobos. I don't know what level he is and stuff. I didn't use this guy for a long time. But maybe with that, we can flank a little bit better. Let's see. Do you want to hit him? Oh, couldn't I shirk? I don't even have that bound, because I never thought I should use it. But can't I shirk to drop the aggro? Isn't that a thing? What is that? That's a roll ability? No? What is it? I swear I got a skill called shirk that lets me drop aggro. What's a performance ability? What's that? Oh, wait. Do I not have it yet? Is it on my next quest? It's a bard skill? Oh, performance is a bard skill. Okay. Yeah, I know what shirk is. I just don't know where it is. I thought I'd unlocked it already. What that would allow me to do is drop aggro and then let my chocobo beat it up. But I don't know. I'd start doing damage and then it would just hit again. So I don't know. It's just a bit weird, honestly. Why the fuck couldn't I thingy there? Oh, yeah. That's a fun thing. This is basically my favorite skill in the game. Sweep. Oh, my God. All my buttons are wrong. Actually being able to react and interrupt shit is really nice. I honestly don't know how I'll feel playing other characters without interrupts. Both Dark Knight and this guy get sweep, which is nice. Or leg sweep, I should say. Quick question. Is WP using any add-ons? I love the auto change thing. No, that's just macros. Basically, I have 3 skill bars in one. And when I trigger one of these skills, all that the macro does, if you look here, I tried to make them not show an error, but they do. Basically, it will trigger the skill, and it will swap the hotbar to the next one. Right, and it only works for certain skills, so you got to be kind of careful with how you lay it out. I also have it actually in the second in between. If I miss the timing, like in a really bad way, there's a very, very slight chance by default that it will rotate to the next bar, but I haven't used the ability. So, for example, how can I do this accidentally? I'll try and trigger it. It's really hard to trigger it. Maybe like this. There, like that. I actually got the timing wrong. No. I got the timing right there. I basically built it so that there are fringe scenarios where if I get the timing wrong. There you go. Look, it's on the chocobo. Like here. It would have rotated there, but not gone through. So what I've actually done is I've set it up to have a fallback, and it will always trigger the animation anyway. And in those situations, you would actually lose a little bit of damage if you're doing it every time. But it's like this fringe thing. And it's just to catch it so that you don't have to, reset the whole thing. Yeah, and it's fun on Dark Monk, on Monk, because there's like 9 abilities that you can condense onto 3 binds. But I noticed with Dark Knight they have the same thing. It's like, well, how useless is this? Why would you have to put 3 fucking binds and 3 areas for it? It's ridiculous. So anyway, yeah, it's just a little thing I did one day. There's not really any guides online about that. Just learn how macros work, and then you can figure out from there. I think I saw one video of a guy doing something obscenely complicated so that you could play Monk on a PlayStation controller or something, and I just thought, it's not for me. My eyes, those macros hurt. Why do they hurt? Yeah, add-ons being against TOS is a weird thing. I don't know. Can you guys teach me? Apparently, I've been hearing that they ban the fuck out of people. Like, if you're mean or toxic or whatever, you get banned really quickly in this game. They're like big community policers. And I've also heard that you get banned for using add-ons. But then, apparently add-ons are like really normal and everybody uses them. So what is it? Is it like a Guild Wars 1 toolbox style situation? I mean, like, what is that? No, I'm not saying you get banned for using macros. Obviously you don't. That's a part of the game. That's obviously a fully supported part of the game. What I'm saying is, do you get banned for using add-ons? And what kind of stuff? Add-ons is just DPS meters and stuff, right? It's a show don't tell situation. When Asmund came in, people were harassing him and got banned for stream sniping. Well, surely that's getting banned for harassment rather than anything else. You can use a DPS meter, which is fine, but if you use the data from the DPS meter to say that other player had bad DPS and should feel bad, you can be banned for putting someone down. Yeah, so it's toxicity that they don't like, right? But they also started doing programs with content creators, and it seems they don't pick people who use DPS meters. Oh, that's interesting. Kerry says Square Enix is very on top of the bans at the moment for harassment. Man, it's weird getting all this aggro. I do wonder if I should change this thing. If not having to worry about queuing makes the game flow better. That's all I really care about, making the game flow better. And if it feels a little bit more comfortable to go 1 2 3 1 2 3 and you need less precise timing, I might swap this. There's an alternate launcher on GitHub which you can add add-ons like a latency HUD or market board price checker on mouseover. Wow. Oh my god, WP on 14. Now that's a site I didn't expect to see. Thank you. Okay, so it's just DPS that they don't like. Man, I just realized right there in that second, I just realized that I'm hungry and what I really want is cheese on toast. Oh man, I don't have any bread or any cheese in the house. Guys, somebody go make grilled cheese, please. Somebody, and enjoy it. Make a grilled cheese, someone. Post it in the Spud Discord, a picture of it. I want it. I was in the middle of saying something and I've completely forgotten what it was now. Maybe it was about story. Maybe it was some feature that I can't remember. Oh, I got to clean up my armory chest as well. I did a big cleanup the other day, but... So there's a weird thing in this game, like when you do dungeons, it just dumps... Like you don't want to open the chests because it gives you a ton of stuff that nobody cares about. Here's one of these weird items. This is like a type of item that doesn't matter. They also don't like it when you use tools that give your Lalafels a big... Oh god, a big what? A big willy? A big willy? Will you be streaming the main MSQ? I'd love to see you go through them live. Well, that's the question. That's what I keep posing to chat, and I'll be reviewing as we go along. Yeah, I get that that's a healing ring. Wait, why is that healing? Because that was mine. But the point is the color of the tooltip. Hey, Ails, it's good to see you. You're very curious to hear my thoughts. Also, 48 months in a row. Dude. Ails, I think you're the only person still on a streak like that. You know, I've had so many breaks from this website this year. Honestly, I think... Does anyone have 40 any more than 48 in a row? Ails, I think you're ahead of everyone else. I think you are the golden god. You're a 5-star man. Oh, is Jerry still going as well? If anyone else is, it's Jerry. But I don't know if Jerry's on a streak. I think I noticed yesterday, or whenever it was, that his streak is up. Yeah, Utah doesn't have his streak. I don't want to shame people who lost their streak. It's bizarre to me almost that Ails has still got it. It's crazy. Arterial gear often has more stats or better than normal drops. Right, but the way the game's structured is you do ignore it, right? Yeah, and it's not used after a realm reborn. You might like the PvP skills, your 1, 2, 3 cycles like in Guild Wars 2. Wish they would use it in the main game. Oh, they do that native, do they? Yeah, what's everyone's take on PvP?
for farm potatoes.
Holy shit, Derveg's on 58. How has it been that long since that's even been possible? 58 months. Derveg, that's nuts. I'm so sorry that you didn't even come to my mind there. Derveg, did you sub on the very first stream ever? 63 months ago. It's alright, PvP shite. Square kind of ignores it though. It's just kind of there. Kerry plays a load of it. She does it for skins. By the way, isn't this music just Thunderplane's music? Like, this is what I really like about this game. Any Final Fantasy fans, like general Final Fantasy fans, you'll get a lot out of this game. Just from, like, feeling how similar it is to their other products. You fall asleep in PvP? Yeah, that's 5 years. Where's the time gone? I know, right? What have we done with our lives? Well, you guys probably have done stuff. Is that voice from Divinity Original Sin? It is, yes. You were here on the first stream. You actually missed a few months due to a card issue, and you taking a break at the time. Oh, so you missed the original ones. You know, the very first stream I ever did was playing Legend of Zelda, believe it or not, the original Legend of Zelda, and I did it right around Guild Wars 2's launch. And it was horrible, because I genuinely had about 1,000 people backseating me on a game I had no understanding or no nostalgia for, and I felt terrible. Everyone was saying I was playing it wrong and blah, blah. It was just awful. And I was trying to pay attention to everyone, but chat was moving too fast. And I just quit straight up then and there and never went back to Twitch for like 3 years. There's no VODs of that. There's no nothing. But yeah, it was a Zelda stream. And that was probably one of those big moments where I was like, okay, don't do content for things you don't understand. Because blind, I'm too insecure as a person. And here we are. Basically blind. Basically, I don't know what the shit I'm talking about. Here I am with horrendous UI and devil macros. Have you given any thought to making a free company for Spuds? I mean, yeah, we can do it. I don't know about... I can't make it. I'm a new character. But if you guys want to make one, you know, we'll plug it in the Spud Discord. We have a Final Fantasy channel in the Spud Discord. We've had it since I started playing the game 3 months ago. Oh yeah, we played Lord of the Rings as well last month. Last year, I guess. When did I start streaming regularly? I don't think I've ever streamed regularly. I had a big spree in about 2016 where I was doing 5 hours a day every day. And that lasted a couple of months. But generally, I'm more sporadic about it. Guys, look, this has been really nice. But speaking about streaming and how much I do it and blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna stop it there. Where's my uptime? Why can't I see my uptime? Yeah, because we've been going for about 2 hours. Thank you very much to everyone who watched. I am planning on coming back and continuing with this. So hit follow so that you can see when I do. Thank you for the subs, everyone. Tomorrow, the stream will be back as well. If not tomorrow, the day after, but hopefully tomorrow. And I'm going to be playing another different game. I'm going to be playing Stellaris. And in that game, I kind of know what's going on. We're going to start our Nemesis playthrough. And I'm going to learn a bit more about it. And that might be in service of a Let's Play down the line. That will be really fun. I hope you guys enjoy that. We're going to have a very small community and very small audience of people watching that, I can promise you. But yeah, tomorrow is going to be Stellaris, and then we'll be back to Guild Wars 2. I actually kind of want to start raiding in Guild Wars 2 and doing that on stream because I need my legendary armor for medium and heavy. So that should be fun. And yeah, just and then back to Final Fantasy. We'll just keep rotating those. So that's it. Thanks, guys. Do give me your advice and ideas on what kind of content you want to see from this, please, because I'm lost with it. I don't know what I'm going to do next time I turn this game on. But yeah. And yeah, any advice? I'll watch this video about the macro thing. And I'll see you on the next one very soon. So take care, guys. Thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you next time.